Donald Trump was recently in Saudi Arabia, and basically what he said there was that Iran is the sponsor of all things bad and all things terrorist. And here he is in the very country from which this ideology is the official religion, and from which all this money is flowing into all of these jihadists, both in Europe and now in the UK. We've seen what's happened before. The evidence is overwhelming in Brussels and all of these in Paris. It's always these characters get radicalized either in prison through Wahhabi preachers or at Wahhabi mosques. And that's just absolutely on the record. So again, this report is being suppressed. So does this come down to the fact that the United States can be bribed into turning a blind eye to terrorism, which is supposedly their number one threat on the horizon, and that's the job of the Pentagon? Can they be simply bribed by a $100 billion arms deal? And the British, of course, they get sloppy seconds. They get bribed with arms deals as well. Is that what it's all about?
Yeah, we both do. Yamama, that's the famous one in the 80s, which is, for the Tornado aircraft. It's look the other way. We'll buy your weapons. Side with us on Iran. Make up stories about Iran. Iran is not involved in terrorism. Unless you want to define Hezbollah as a terrorist organization, which it was, and stopped being, and then just covering up. I mean, it remains, and I'll say this over and over again, 15 of those hijackers were Saudis. They found their way into this organization. They were recruited and vetted and indoctrinated in Saudi Arabia, and no one has ever asked the question or demanded who did this, what was the network, why did these people end up in California and Florida,